So I'm currently here in the Maldives on a short 4-day trip to start the year with my girlfriend. And it's business as normal for me. I'm still gonna be working, I'm still gonna be taking calls, and I'll be doing a bit of work in between swimming with dolphins and swimming with sharks. Which you might think is crazy because I'm on holiday. I shouldn't be working at all, right? But this is my reality. You know, I can work anywhere, anytime. And by doing this, it's enabled me to take countless amount of trips in 2024, more than I can count. And it's allowed me to move to Dubai, which I now call my home. And I'm traveling to 4 different countries in the first 2 weeks of 2025, which I don't recommend anyone does, but I wanted to share that with you because I want to show you that this is possible. You know, I idolize the idea of being able to pick up my laptop, work from anywhere at any time, and I watch countless videos just like this one to see that, you know, it's even possible for a guy like me. Because I'm nothing special, I didn't do that well in school, and no one really expected anything of me. I just followed a clear plan and I worked really hard at that plan. And that's kind of exactly what I want to share with you today. I want to share with you that clear plan that this time next year, you can be doing the same as me. And I not only know that to be possible for myself, because I've done it for myself, but I know it to be possible for the 500 other people that I've helped achieve this. So there's no reason why you can't do the same. And I can assume that if you're watching this video and you've got this far in the video, that is something you want for yourselves. So stick around and we're going to jump exactly into how you can travel the world and make money whilst doing it in 2025. Now, the first thing I want to jump into is one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people making when they first try and enter the online space, and that is that they think they need to start their own business. Now, this is just incorrect. Starting a business is very, very difficult. I know it because it took me nearly 3 years to make mine profitable, and starting a business is not something that you can expect to start, and within 6 months that business is making you money and has allowed you to, you know, travel the world and do all these amazing things. It takes a lot of time. It personally took me 3, maybe even close to 4 years before I really had that location freedom and that time freedom that everyone sort of harps on about in this space. And if you really think about a business like a big machine, right? Let's think of a business like a car. You have to, as a business owner, make sure that that car operates and works well. You have to know how each intricate detail of that car, you know, the engine, the steering wheel, the wheels, you need to know how each part works. I need to manage each part effectively in order for it to actually, you know, go ahead and be profitable and make a lot of money with. Now, if you want to scale that business and you want to get it to, you know, let's call it 10K a month in profit, right? You're probably going to need to make at least 20K a month in revenue, because what a lot of people don't tell you is businesses come with a lot of costs. You're going to have to hire team members, software, consultants, everything else that comes with starting a business. The biggest expense is probably team members, or maybe even, you know, advertisement and marketing. But your business is probably going to have to make 20K a month in order for you to walk home with 10. And with a 20K a month business, you're probably going to have a lot of team members, you know, at least a couple in order to get it to that level. It's your job to manage them. It's your job to look after them. It's your job to make sure they're doing their job effectively. It's your job to actually teach them how to do their job. And you can't teach an individual how to do a job if you don't know how to do that job yourself first, or even like have a very good understanding of it. So a lot of people make the mistake that they can go and start a business and it's going to make them a lot of money very, very quickly, whereas actually they need to go away and they need to learn the underlying foundations to what actually makes a successful business. They need to learn all these skills: sales, marketing, operations, leadership. The list is pretty endless before that business can actually go ahead and make money. And by taking on a business, you're taking on a whole different lifestyle than maybe what you've been sold to online, because starting a business is incredibly time consuming. I would say it's more time consuming than having a 9-to-5 job, and it's something you can never switch off from, something you can never step away from. And as much as I love it and as much as I enjoy, you know, growing my businesses, I can't really ever switch off from it for more than 24 hours. Even though I'm in this beautiful setting, I still have a team that relies on me. I still have a team that I have to respond to, meetings I have to attend, and I really have to make sure that, you know, I'm growing that thing not only for myself, but we now have 10 other people that rely on me and rely on my attendance and rely on kind of my leadership to make sure that, you know, they're actually getting paid, which is a big responsibility, and it's one that I wouldn't change for the world, but it's something you have to really consider if you're starting out getting into the space. You know, you're making your first moves and you want to make that first 10K a month. Do you really want to do that and put all that weight on yourself starting out? Or do you just want to be able to make that money, get, you know, 10K profit from, you know, as I'll come on to, learning a high value skill first before going on and scaling to much bigger numbers and having a whole team that ultimately relies on you? try and keep this brief because it's incredibly hot and I've got calls to get back to. But I've just told you that you shouldn't start an online business. And you're probably thinking, well, what the hell should I do? Well, the only reason you get paid for anything in life and the portion of money you make in respective to the work you do is down to the value that you provide. So if you want to get paid a lot of money and you want to make a lot of money and you want to travel the world, you need to provide something, you need to learn something that brings a lot of value to the market that people want to pay you a lot for. Now, if you went ahead and started a business and you didn't have any skills and you weren't really bringing any value, you can't expect to get paid a lot of money for it. And that was my mistake. That's what I did for nearly 3 years. I was jack of all trades, sales, marketing, logistics, team management, leadership, all this stuff. I didn't really know operations. I didn't know how to do them well. I just knew how to do them. And I didn't make any money. And that's why. So my advice to you, if you want to travel the world and you want to make money whilst doing it, is learn a high value skill first. Now, if this is the first video you've seen from me, welcome, please subscribe. But you'll know that I'm heavily biased towards selling and sales. And that's because sales enabled me to scale my marketing agency to over 100K a month. And sales has since been able to allow me to scale my coaching business to over 100K a month. Both businesses closing in on 200K a month. Now, it wouldn't be possible if I didn't know how to sell and I didn't know how to sell well. So that's my advice to you, is go and learn a high value skill. And if you're starting out and you don't know which one to pick, I really recommend you lock in on sales, because if you know how to sell, you will always be able to make money in any market, in any industry, in any niche, selling any product. It's learning that high value skill, and being a salesman, you are closest to the money. You are very valuable to a business because you're the one that's directly bringing them sales, bringing them clients. And if you're good at what you do, you become very much irreplaceable. And frankly, it's one of the jobs where, if you're on a good commission, you can make a hell of a lot of money. And I know that not only from my own experience with starting my own business and struggling for 3 years before learning how to sell and sell well, but I've learned it from teaching the 500 people we've helped inside Club Closer do the exact same thing. And many of them already knew how to sell. Many of them just started out with selling, but by dedicating their time and having that singular focus on one high value skill, they've been able to scale to 10, 20, we've even got guys hitting 30, 40K a month from purely learning sales. So now that you know that you shouldn't start an online business and that you should have one singular focus, and one singular focus should be a high value skill, and if you want my advice, that skill should be sales, I'm now going to come on to tell you what to do with that skill in order to make a lot of money with it.
I came out tonight and I wanna go.
So now you know how to sell, we're gonna have to teach you how to monetize it. Now, if you've come across my channel before, you know exactly what a high ticket closer is. And if you haven't, let me briefly explain that for you. Well, a high ticket closer is essentially a glorified sales rep. They work with established online businesses and work in their sales teams and take sales calls with pre-qualified, pre-vetted prospects that are interested in buying. So let's take one random business, for example. There are businesses out there that teach you how to start your own e-commerce store, and they might cost £5,000 for that course, that coaching, and that mentorship. If you are a sales rep for that company, somebody that is interested in buying and working with that company will book in a call, and that call will be booked into your calendar because you're the one that's going to be selling them on it. And if you're able to close them, you'll make 10% commission on that sale. So if you're selling a 5K product, you'll make 10% commission. It's going to leave you with $500 per sale you're able to make. In a good company, you should have at least 5 of these calls booked into your calendar every single day. And really, the amount of money you can make is going to depend on how good you are at selling and how many of these courses you can actually sell. Now, you don't necessarily have to sell courses. You could work for an agency, you could work for a software company, you could work for a consultancy company. There are many other businesses out there. Essentially, what you're doing here is you're piggybacking the success of already established businesses. We've already written off that if you want to travel the world and make money in 2025, starting a business might not be the most profitable route for you. But if you can partner with a business, that 10% of businesses that actually do succeed and do have success, if you can partner and work with one of those businesses in their sales teams, you can go ahead and make 10, 20, 30K a month without having your own business, which is exactly what the guys and girls inside Club Closer are doing, and exactly what a lot of high ticket closers are doing in the online space right now. They're not banking on their own success to start the business from scratch. They're partnering with a business that is already successful, already established, already got clients, already got a great product, and already got a great marketing strategy that is getting eyeballs and getting people interested in working with them every single day. And that is exactly why being a high ticket closer is probably the most profitable route for you. If you do want to travel the world, you want to go and, stay in fancy Airbnbs, work in different time zones, being a high ticket closer is really the route to do that, because not only are you able to make money very quickly because you're only focusing on one singular skill, but the money you do make is straight profit, which is another thing we haven't even covered, is that, as we said outside, if you want to start a business, you're probably going to have to make double the amount of money in order to make that 10K a month profit. You're going to have to make 20K a month. With high ticket closing, your only expense is really the laptop that you close on. Other than that, all the money you make is take home commission. It's straight profit. So you have no team members, you have no software, you have no product delivery that you have to pay to fulfill. Like, that is done for the company. Your job is only to sell. You have that one singular focus of closing clients, and that's it. And that's why it's such a beautiful model. And as I've said, like, if your goal is to travel the world and you want to make a lot of money whilst doing it in the next year or so, we just want to reverse engineer that process. So what exactly do I mean when I say reverse engineer the process? Well, it's quite simple. You don't want a whole business. You don't want 10 employees, which you have to manage, and you don't have to make double the amount of money in order to take home just half of it. If you're working a 9 to 5, you want to start making money online and you want to start traveling the world in 2024, we've already established that having a business isn't the best way to go. And we've established that having one skill is the best way to go. So just reverse engineer the process from there. If you want to travel on your own time, you want to make enough money that you can travel the world, 10K is really the perfect number for that. You can live, pretty much the dream life at 10K a month. It's not going to sustain you and your family for the future forever and ever, but it's a really good starting point, and it's probably a lot better than where you're at now. So focus on that. Get to the fact where you can travel the world, get to the fact where you can sort of experience different cultures, see the world for what it is, and be able to kind of open your eyes to what's really possible. And then once you've learned that skill, once you've made that money, and once you've traveled the world, then you can go off and start that business that you really care about and that you're truly passionate about, instead of just starting a business for the sake of it to get out of that job that you've come to hate. So when I say reverse engineer the process, I really just mean focus on the things that matter. And the things that really matter here in this situation are, learning that high income skill, replacing your current income, your current 9 to 5 day job with that skill. And then once you replace that income, going full time with it, scaling up to that 10K a month mark. And I really, truly believe that the best way to do that is by becoming a high ticket closer in 2025. We've already established that there's so many businesses that are already successful. They're out there in the European time zone, in the English time zone, hell, even the Australian time zone has a hell of a lot of businesses in it right now. And the only thing really stopping you from being able to travel the world and making money whilst doing it is making sure you land an offer where the time zones line up to whatever country you're in. But, if that's your biggest problem in 2025, I think it's a step worth taking and a problem worth having. All right, so there you have it. That is my actionable advice if you want to travel the world and earn a lot of money whilst doing it in 2025. You don't need to start a whole business. And by fixating on a whole business or trying to start a whole business, you're actually slowing down your growth, and it's impacting your growth and the success you can have. If you switched your mindset and just focused on one high value skill, scaled within that skill, went and worked for already established businesses that are already doing 100, 200, 300, $1 million a month in revenue, make a small percentage of the sales you close if you were to become a closer, or a small profit share if you were to do marketing for them, whether that be an ads manager or content creation, whatever it is. But I mean, you guys know my bias is heavily on the sales side, so I really think you should go away and learn sales, because whatever business you get into in the future, that is just going to serve you better. So don't fix it on the business, focus on a high value skill. That high value skill should be sales, and really make sure that you are taking steps that are actually leading you towards the future that you actually want and that are going to get you closer. So reverse engineer that process. If your goal is to travel the world and make your first 10K a month online and transition into the online space, then I really recommend that high ticket closing is the route to do that. And the last bit of advice I really want to say is don't run before you can walk. That is a big common mistake we see within the online space, of people not acquiring the skills, people trying to start businesses without having any of the knowledge they need to actually make them a success. So really make sure you take that on board, focus on the principles, focus on the things that are actually going to make you money, and yeah, there's no reason you can't be in the Maldives this year. But look, That's the end of this video. If you do want our help doing this and you want my help doing this, you can check out the link below to my coaching program, Club Closer. We help beginners and sales professionals get into online roles and scale to 10K a month in a matter of 3 months. We can help you do it. We've helped 500 people do it before. So if you are interested, check out that link. If not, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel a lot this year and make sure we have a wider reach and provide as much value as possible. So I'll see you in the next one.